everybody, and welcome to WRMN 1410 AM. Today we got a great couple of guys that are going to be in here once again, good friends and brothers of mine. In a few moments, we're going to be talking to Ed Sheff, who's a Joliet District Marshal. We also have Stephen Fitzmaurice, and he's with the State Knights of Columbus for new council development. So that's kind of neat stuff. And we have a whole bunch of things we're going to talk about. Just recently, we had other Knights of Columbus brothers that were on. We had Ron Rocky from Batavia, I think 2191 Columbian. And then we had my council, which was Rick McMahon, the Grand Knight, and Mike Colby was heading up the Intellectual Disabilities Drive, which is 11981 in Holy Family. I'm saying that stuff, and it'll make sense to you in just a little while when we introduce Stephen. But we're going to start out with Ed Sheff. Number one, I think he looks better. So there we go, guys. Why don't you say hello to everybody? And how you doing, Ed?
I'm doing good.
Glad to see
First
you.
of all, I'd like to thank you, Dino, for inviting us. We really do appreciate the opportunity to speak on a few subjects. And thank you very much.
You're always welcome here. This is your home.
Thank you.
And that goes for you too, Stephen, even though you're with the state.
Thank you. I appreciate
No,
that.
state does a wonderful job. We have a great group of leaders over there.
It's a good group of guys, new set of guys, and I think there's going to be a lot of great excitement this year.
Excellent. And we're looking forward to what it is you have to say about that. But you know what? We're going to go right into Ed. And Ed, I already know what you're going to talk about.
Of course you do.
Let's not, we're not here to fool nobody.
Okay.
But you want to talk about what's going on nationwide, Intellectual Disabilities Drive.
That's correct.
Which, unfortunately, most people know it as the Tootsie Roll Drive.
Right.
Which works, because that's what gave it its notoriety. So it's all yours. What's going on with that?
All right. A lot of people don't know what ID Drive is. And ID actually stands for Intellectual Disabilities. We don't like all the slang names they use for that because it's just not right. I mean, they have they're born with these afflictions, and as the Lord teaches us that if you want to be, actually our bishop in Joliet, Bishop Hicks, told us, if you want to be great, share what you have with others. And our Tootsie Roll Drive, we're doing exactly that throughout the nation. And what we do is we sell Tootsie Rolls to people, we collect money, and we donate that money for intellectual disabilities. Programs such as Special Olympics, which is a big
Over at Soldier Field.
Over Soldier Field,
Right.
A big event for us. They have all kinds of different things we do with this money, and we collect this money in order that we can give it to them. We don't really keep any money for ourselves. We're a not-for-profit organization, more or less, and we want to do. And as a matter of fact, in conjunction with that, this weekend, September 19th, 20th, and 21st, there'll be consuls and people all over the place with the yellow vest and with Tootsie Rolls, and we sure do hope you be generous with these people because they're giving up their time. They do all this for free. They don't collect any money for standing on the counter. On the corners, and we hope that they're being careful because we have seen a few minor incidents happen on the street.
Being in traffic could be a challenge.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of towns that have stopped actually being on the street corners.
That's right.
Just because of the incidents that have occurred. However, there are some that are doing it. They're doing it in front of storefronts. So I don't think it would really hurt you maybe to stop at the cash station, because I'm a guy like that too. Get yourself a handful of singles, fives, tens, whatever you want to put in there.
Of course.
They always say they like the money that jingles, but they sure love the money that folds.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter if it's big or a little donation. The idea is all of it working in communion with all the councils. There's quite a bit of money that's raised for intellectual disabilities. And, that's many people. That's Down syndrome.
Yeah.
That's autism. There's so many different afflictions that young children have, and now they're catching it at a young age. And a lot of that has to do with the research that the funds collected for the intellectual disabilities. It just doesn't go to the Knights of Columbus. For those of you who wanted, oh, good, look, we got all this money now. No. They're sending these monies to different hospitals, to different research centers. So I don't know if we're ever going to have a cure, but we could certainly welcome them and make them feel just like people. Tony Danza, how do you treat somebody with a disability? Like a person. Mm-hmm. And that's just all you do.
That's right.
That's how you treat a person. Treat a person like a person. And the ID drive is responsible for all the changes that they've had, and a lot of them in the medical industry.
And another area I think that gets overlooked is the fact that, okay, we want to help the people with intellectual disabilities as much as possible, but let's think about their families, okay? The parents, the caregivers who are taking care of these special people, because they need as much support as the people with intellectual disabilities, because, hey, we give once a year or a couple times a year. And also, let's not forget that donations to the ID drive is a year-long thing. Just because we're having a Tootsie Roll drive now, you stop and see any Knights of Columbus and say, I want to donate this $5 for intellectual disabilities. It will get to the right place. So let's please keep all the people who are taking care of children or adults with intellectual disabilities, please keep them in your prayers. I would appreciate it.
Yeah, excellent. Well said. Because again, Knights of Columbus is, anytime you hear Knights of Columbus, honestly, it's good. Now, of course, I'm Catholic and I belong to the organization. So, of course, I'm going to promote and support it. But, we don't really care, especially now with our past Pope and the Pope that we have right now, Pope Leo. We are welcoming, every one of our churches are welcoming, no matter what you are. If you don't have a assigned faith or an assigned structured religion, that doesn't matter. You believe in God, you're doing the good things, you want to be a part of us, we'd love to have you with us. Ed?
And, so far as the Knights of Columbus go, I've been with the Knights for 51 years, which is a long time. And I've seen a lot of changes through the years. And, we have to do our best to, try and get some new blood in the order as well. And I'm sure Steve will touch upon that a little bit later. But as far as intellectual disabilities, I can't stress more to please be generous with your donations, because we really need it so that we can help. And we do present them with usually a large check. I believe it's at the winter meeting that they have for the district, all the district deputies. And generally we have somebody, a disabled, usually a youth. He comes and he talks to us for a little bit, and they're just thrilled. They tell us what kind of accomplishments they've had in the Special Olympics, and they're very proud, and we're all proud of them too for doing something meaningful. And that's what I'm asking you folks to do. Please do something meaningful. Give us a few dollars to help us achieve our goal, which should be every person's goal, to help someone in need.
Yeah, and there's so many organizations that are out there. I mean, Gigi's was one that we did.
Yes.
Little City, which bordered right there, Inverness and Palatine. And those type of places have in-house, I guess you would say, residents. So
Right.
they get some assistance there. But what they do, they try to develop these individuals so they can eventually move like to a group home with maybe 4 people, with intellectual disabilities, give them some training. Like the Jewel Food stores, you'll start seeing them now. They're working as baggers. Mm-hmm. And you'll see other different stores that are now starting to hire individuals that have intellectual disabilities. Doesn't mean by no stretch they're stupid, that they're different. Yeah, maybe they're a little different. In fact, they may not understand something as quick as you. But I know a lot of people with this that, you want to talk about numbers, you want to talk about figuring something out. They come up with the figure 1, 2, 3. I'm like, how did you do that? So where they're lacking in some areas, support them. Give them a shot. Give them a chance. Because they want to be into society just like we are. years and years ago, if you had the word was retarded, they were retarded.
Right.
And in the dictionary, retarded means setback. So it wasn't intended to be like what was told on the high school yards or the grammar school yards. Ah, you darn retard. Okay, that was something different. But because of the definition, that's where all that slang comes from. The idea of the ID Drive 2 is to give the education of what intellectual disabilities is and explain that you don't call people those different names, okay? They're just Harry, Joe, Susie, Sally, whatever their name is. That's how you call them, that's how you address them. And you try to find out what strengths they have, and you build on it from there. And we're there to support them. And the funds do every bit of that.
Yeah, and I think, Dino, what you said is important is it's not just large organizations, like state we go to, Special Olympics Illinois and such, so you hear a lot about that. But it's each of those local councils gets
Right.
the opportunity to select where the money they collected goes to. So some of it goes to state to give to Special Olympics Illinois, but then each of those local councils are picking local organizations, like you mentioned, that then benefit from those funds that are collected on the corners.
And sometimes it affects the parishioners that the parish that you're collecting through has an individual that has intellectual disabilities. And we've had a few, no names needed, but we've had a few come up to us and say, wow, you guys are collecting the money for that. I have a daughter that has intellectual disabilities. And we would, are you getting, services and help? You go to Gigi's all around the country, I think in Mexico too now, it's totally free, no charge. If you have a child with autism, you go right there. And they will help you, guide you, give the child, whatever age. I mean, unfortunately, you'll have 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that still are afflicted with this, but they make sure that they're getting their physical fitness in, because that's a big part of their affliction. People with intellectual disabilities, it's a big deal for them to be physically fit, because then they can articulate the words a whole lot better, able to be, there's so much that goes into it. I don't want to go into the deep end, go into deep water here, because we are just trying to bring awareness to this weekend, which is 19, 20, and 21. Be generous, folks. Help out the Knights of Columbus. They could help you. You never know when that's going to happen. So,
One little thing you can do as well is when you see somebody who has intellectual disabilities in a store, maybe a bagger at a grocery store or something like that, say hello to them. Don't ostracize them and oh, I'm not talking to him. Shake their hand. You wouldn't believe the smile they'll put on their face. They love being recognized,
Sure.
And they should be recognized as equal. God treats all of us as equals. So who are we to say differently?
yeah, you made their day when you shake their hand and wow, thank you for putting that in a double bag.
That's right.
And now they think, oh, look at that, I did the right thing.
That's right.
And that builds up their confidence, and then it lets them go to another level to where they're feeling more comfortable
That's
and
correct.
doing more.
That's correct.
So it's absolutely a good point. And you also wanted to talk about exemplification.
Yes. Coming in next month, I believe it's October 25th, over at St. Margaret Mary Church, 111 South Hubbard Street in Algonquin, we're having an exemplification for the fourth degree. What that is a simplified word, is an initiation into the fourth degree. And this year is the first year ever that the entire families are encouraged to come and support your husband, boyfriend, because it's an important day for you as well as them, because you're taking the one step. The fourth degree is actually what we call the physical arm of the order. It's the one people say, oh yeah, those guys are fourth degree. Even though we've changed our uniform, it's not about the uniform. It never was about the uniform. It's about what we have in our hearts and the work we do.
What we represent.
What we represent, exactly. And our master currently, the master of let's see if I get this right, of the Northern District, Marquette District,
Marquette Province.
Marquette Province, thank you, Ty Simmons, wanted me to say hello, and unfortunately, circumstances beyond his control prevent him from being here today. But he wanted me to say hello to everyone. And so we will be having that. And it's we do the exemplification, and then afterward we have mass, and then there's a banquet after that. And we need members, third degree members, to turn into fourth degree members, because a lot of us are getting old. Okay,
But you know what? If you can, and explain. Knights of Columbus used to have 3 degrees: first, second,
Right.
third degree.
Right.
Now, when you join the Knights of Columbus, boom, it's one. You're a knight. You're a brother knight. It's all the way through the 3rd degree. Now, this 4th degree that you're speaking of, for those that don't understand, our structure, that's the patriotic arm of our Knights of Columbus.
That's correct.
So you're taking a step, in a sense, further, not necessarily higher, because we're all equal.
That's right.
You're taking a step further to say, you know what? I'm going to support our military. And by becoming a 4th degree, that's a huge step, because there's a lot to recognize in our 4th degree. And that's why this exemplification that Ed's talking about, my assembly, Bishop's Shield, 2330, had the first totally open, where husbands, wives, children, everybody could watch the ceremony. Like Ed is talking about, Knights of Columbus has taken some progressive changes from the strict guidelines, or what would you call rituals, that they used to have. The rituals are still in place. Uniforms have been changed. However, it's becoming what we want it to be. Is our hand is out to welcome you in. Our hand is not out to make you do something. It's to welcome you in, get you welcome. You hear, Ed's been here 51 years. I can't imagine. Well, I'm up there. I'm almost 20. I think I'm close to 20 years as a knight, but 51 years. And that means that Ed's been helping on all the programs, being a chairman 2 and 3, 4, 5 times. You become a knight and become, involved. Start seeing what's been going on. The Knights have been so active and so responsible for the disaster relief. They've given money. Our state is what do you want to call it? What's the head state called?
State deputy.
State deputy has made sure that each and every disaster that has happened, funds are collected. Around the 9/11, we collected money for towers, which I know you're going to be talking about later. And, it's just so many things that the Knights of Columbus do. And I just think it's important to know the difference, why you want to go to the exemplification. Take that step, brother Knights, if you're listening, and call in. Anybody wants to call in, has a question, call 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. We're talking with Ed Sheff and also Stephen Fitzmaurice. So Ed's talking about the 4th degree. I kind of took over on the one spot because I want people to understand the difference. But go ahead and talk about the actual where it's going to be at. I know you said it once, but give it to them again.
Sure. It's going to be in Algonquin at St. Margaret Mary Church at 111 South Hubbard Street. And you need to send in a reservation and an application, which has to be signed by the faithful, actually by your financial secretary of the consul. And that's got to be sent to...
Then he sends it to the assembly.
Yeah. Then he'll send it to the assembly, and the assembly will vote on it, and then you're ready to go once you follow all the rules. Like I say, just to backtrack a little bit, when you join the Knights of Columbus, our first 3 principles are charity, unity, and fraternity. And charity is always first, because that's what God preaches, charity. And but anyhow, when you come to exemplification, I mean, who better to want to serve the military? What did they give up for us? They gave everything for them. Some of them are no longer here anymore because they served in the military. And I mean, let's not forget not only the military, but let's remember all the first responders, all the police, the firemen, all those first responders that went into that burning building at 9/11. So please keep them in mind. And if you have any questions, you feel free to either email us or give us a call, and we're more than happy to
Answer any questions.
answer any questions. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're here, 847-931-1410. Ed talked about two very important things. The ID drive, which it's a nationwide program. So you're going to see people all over the street. Some of the councils have gotten pretty slick, actually. They have those QR codes where you could just put your phone on it, and either it takes care of it right then and there that day, or, you get home and you can go ahead and make that donation. However, whenever, wherever you want to give the donation, that's all we're asking is that lend a hand. Just help us with the light work. The heavy work is being done. We have all the volunteers out on the street trying to collect, get as much as we could do, but your part is an equal partnership to what our volunteers are doing. And then Ed is also talking about the exemplification. Becoming a fourth degree knight, there's a certain amount of, you have to admit, I will anyhow, there's a certain amount of prestige that you are a fourth degree knight because you are representing at any Special Olympics, the Columbus Day Parade coming up, you're representing everybody of the Knights of Columbus, not only the Northern District, not only the state of Illinois, not only, 3, 4, 5, everywhere. And the Knights of Columbus is global. That's right. They're in other countries as well.
That's right.
So, I've got on my Facebook, I've got people from all over. Belize, I got them from Africa, France, I got, you name it. I've got a lot of people that clicked on, because they see the different things I post of Knights of Columbus. Mm-hmm. Great organization. I could talk about it all day long, and I'm sorry about that,
Being a member of Knights of Columbus, I think you also have a lot of pride in what you do. We don't look for recognition. We like to, what I like to call, be silent. We don't have to go there and say, hey, I did this, I did that. No, you just do it and you're quiet, Don't
let your left hand know what your right hand is.
Exactly. Like I think in one of the Bible verses, it's something about let him who is in the back seat, I'll call him forward. If you're in the front seat, I'm going to ask you, go to the back of the bus.
Right. So there you have it. We've been talking with Ed Sheff. Well said, Ed Sheff, on that last little comment. Stephen Fitzmore. I want to keep calling you Fitzsimmons, but it's Fitzmorris. And they're going to be here. You guys are going to hang around for after the break?
Sure.
And we're going to talk to the guy that represents the state, and that would be Stephen Fitzmorris. I got it right this time. So, hey, everybody, listen to WRMN 1410. We have the Knights of Columbus in our station once again, and we're proud to have them in there. So stay tuned. Short little break, and we will be with you in just a few moments. So how you like that for a little Knights of Columbus smooth music bringing in? I see we have a phone call, so we're going to get to that phone call right away. So again, you're listening to WRMN 1410. We got two great members of the Knights of Columbus. We've got Ed Sheff and we got Stephen Fitzmorris. The first half we've been talking with Ed about what's going on in the fourth degree, and Stephen is with the state council, state lodge, state whatever you want to call it.
State council, yeah.
Yeah, state council, and we got a lot to talk about. So I do have a phone call on the line. Let me get our guys back. Let's get our screen back to where it belongs, and here we go. You're back on, guys. I'm going to take this phone call. Hey, you're on WRMN. Who do we got on the phone?
Hi, this is John Walters. Actually, Steve is in my council. He's a brother of mine.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make a comment about the Knights of Columbus and why men should join. You definitely get way more out of it than you put in. And I'll tell you, my brother Steve there started our council at our parish with another gentleman, Bob Webster of mine. And it's an amazing experience, and I highly recommend it to all Catholic men out there to become a Knight of Columbus at their parish.
That's a good testimony. So you like this guy, Steve, huh?
He's okay.
Pretty good guy. You did make a comment about you get more than what you put in, and that is a fact. The feeling that you get, In my parish, I happen to also be Eucharistic minister and bereavement minister. And, when you're allowed, you're privileged to do the funeral masses and you're saying the final prayer before someone's loved one is either entombed into like a mausoleum type or into the ground. I mean, such a feeling I get every time I do that. Out of all the charity work I do, and I do a lot of charity work, that is the most rewarding for me, that I am entrusted to say those prayers over that person. So you know what? You hit the nail on the head. You get a whole lot more out than what you put in. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes.
So this is my grand knight, John Walters, and he neglected to mention he was also one of the three that helped build our new council out in Lockport, Illinois. But he's right. There's so many people that think, joining the Knights of Columbus is this huge time commitment that we're going to ask them to do 50 million things and they're never going to see their families and that. In my experience, I mean, I haven't done 51 years like Ed, but in the 15 years that I've been a knight, my experience has always been whatever I put into it, I get back tenfold.
Nice.
So the more time I invest in the Knights, in my parish, and in my spirituality, I'm getting returns that I can't even really put to words, the feelings you get from all of that. So
Jen, you're a new council then, is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, we're about
I think it's about 2.5 years.
That's still new to me.
2.5, 3 years old. Yeah.
Are you the second Grand Knight then, or how does that work?
I am. I'm trying to live up to the high bar that our first Grand Knight Bob Webster set.
Excellent. Well, hey.
He recently nicknamed me Patient Zero for the council because I was one of the first to step up and help build the council up. So,
well, that's great, and that's one of the things that Steve, you're taking care of for the state is you're building and trying to develop new councils.
Yes, I'm state's new council development chairman this year. So the charge for myself on that is to help our state deputy and our state membership team to bring new councils to parishes where our pastors and our communities are looking for assistance. And we're literally taking it from there are no knights there to building it up to get 30 guys into a council and get the councils off. So we've got some exciting prospects. Believe it or not, Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago. We've got a request there for a new council.
I'm starting to see, and I read about it, there's an influx of younger people going to church with their children. Baptism is becoming very special and important to them. And going and hearing, the words, okay, your homily or whatever, but it's giving them a sense of, again, togetherness. You're brought in and you're with a group of people. And what better way to share your faith than share with everybody like we're supposed to?
Well, absolutely. And what we are seeing across not just, the Chicagoland area, but across the state of Illinois and across the nation is we are seeing those younger families coming back to church, coming back looking for something to fill the void in their life and to teach, and lead their families and lead their children into a life of, good moral values.
Instead of letting the internet raise the children,
instead of letting the internet,
why not take an interest in your children and your family and
absolutely
do it with some faith.
And that's the beautiful thing about developing new councils for the Knights of Columbus is we were giving those families an opportunity for their men to step up and lead by example.
Nice.
Because if you look at past generations and look at the way things were, many years ago, is a lot of what our society learned and a lot of the values that we instilled were because we had people stepping up and leading by example, living a life of faith, doing charity works, doing volunteer works. And the more you do that, and the more your family sees that, the more your children are going to want to do that in the future. So, for me, new council development really is setting the stage for building a better future for our children, because we're giving an opportunity to these men to join an organization that is going to help them grow in their faith, that's going to help them grow in their spirituality, grow closer to Christ, and at the same time, show their children that we have a responsibility as just as human beings to give back to our communities, to give back to our parishes, to give back to our families, and do the right thing and do good things out there. And like we were talking with the intellectual disabilities drive, that's just one of many different ways that we can do that.
All we're doing is what Jesus has taught us: 4 little letters, love. If you give love and you're expressing it with your family, with your service, that's all you're doing. You're extending your arm out to help somebody else, and that's called love. What are you talking about? Big guy like you're talking about love. That's right. I love my brothers. And I'll tell you what, John Walters, you gave a great testimony over here for Stephen, and development for new councils. I can imagine not only it's got to be tough, because some of them, here you got Ed, 51 years as a knight. I'm sure there's a lot of councils that had gentlemen that were a little bit older and put their time in. They're like, you know what? So the council went away and they become like a men's club. So develop them into councils to get that unity and get that strength that we're all together. That's a tough job you got there.
It's a challenge, but it's an exciting thing. Ed had mentioned during the break to us, we were talking about some of the different roles we've held in the past, and this is a new challenge for me. I've spent 8 years helping different councils across Joliet and the Chicago Archdiocese and helping guide them and teach them. So this is that next step of stepping in and taking these new councils and building a foundation that's lasting for them. So, showing them how to live out charity, fraternity, unity, and patriotism.
And, and what else also with you, John, the humility, how humble he was to say, Bob, was it Webster?
Yeah.
Bob Webster.
Yeah, Bob Webster, he did a good job. And, I had big shoes to fill and all of that. But you know what? You're filling the shoes fine. Because when I was talking with Stephen ahead of time, he didn't mention by name at the time because we were rushing in. But he was saying that, the council is growing. It's you're 2.5 years new, and that's great. So God bless you, my brother. You have a great day. Unless you had any other comments you want to throw in.
I love you.
Love you, brother.
All right,
Thanks, man.
Thanks for your call.
Bye.
So there we go. One of our brother knights called in. Before we're back to that 51 years and back to development. Ed, I'm looking at yourself, and you're dressed up in a 4th degree uniform. And a lot of people are probably wondering, what is it that all that stuff represents? So can you identify, you have a crest on your jacket. What does that represent?
The crest actually represents the 4th degree, and that's the emblem. Every 4th degree knight, abides. That's what I'm thinking of. We're proud to wear the crest. It's the dove over the world, showing that God is the most important, which is the Holy Spirit. That's what the dove represents.
In peace.
In peace.
In unity.
And so that's pretty much, we're soldiers of God, more or less, okay? Knights of God, I should say. And then from there, you have all the other accomplishments you have over the years. You get, when you become a marshal is like a colonel, I guess, in the Army. General would be the master. And currently in the northern Marquette province, there are 6 marshals. And we all try and help the master. The master appoints each of us because he figures we're worthwhile. I guess he figures we're competent.
Is that what the green ribbon around your neck is?
The green ribbon that I'm wearing here is a marshal's ribbon. When you see this, and he's in charge, like when there's multiple assemblies doing an event, all the purples are commander. They don't have ribbons like this, but they wear a purple banner. And in multiple assemblies, when they congregate together, the marshal's actually in charge of all of them. And then the other little medals I have the purple one is past Grand Knight. The solid red one is for a former district deputy. And the blue and the red is a former faithful navigator, which I was twice.
And that again represents the fourth degree, the faithful navigator, which I'm currently serving my term. The red one is very important, the district deputy.
Yep.
And I bet Stephen's going to try and look for somebody like that with development, because
Absolutely.
you would be responsible to go to several councils, not necessarily attached to a certain assembly.
4 or 5.
Okay, you have 4 or 5 councils.
That's right.
To give them the guidance that they need and the materials they need in order
right.
to work as a council.
I'm going to make one little pitch, and that is wives and girlfriends out there, get your boyfriends or husbands to join, because join the Knights of Columbus makes you a better man, makes you a better father, makes you a better husband, and a better Catholic. Not necessarily in that order, but so it's important that you join this organization because it'll make you better. Like you said previously, you get more out of it than you put into it. Okay,
So
sorry.
So
All right, so we digressed a little bit. We're going to go right back to Stephen.
actually, I'm gonna pick on Ed real quick.
Fitzmaurice.
My wife just texted me and asked me to remind you that as a patriotic degree knight, a fourth degree knight, you also get to carry a sword. So she wanted to make sure that you knew that you missed that part.
Okay. All right. You get to carry a sword, okay? And once you become a faithful navigator, you actually get to carry one with a white handle.
There you go.
See, all the colors and all the ribbons,
They mean something.
they're great. They mean something, but they don't mean nothing to Ed that he has to display them.
Right.
He displays them proudly because he held those offices as he should. He's asked to wear those. It's not like, oh, give me one of those so I could put on my shirt. The color differentiation, like when we have the green, the purple, all that does is so when there's an event going on and you have all these guys in uniform, fourth degree, Knights of Columbus, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a celebration, those are the guys that organize them, get them in order, 2 by 2, 3 down the aisle, and they're the ones that go ahead and make sure that everything goes right. So that's why you have these colors. It's not for ego.
No.
Ed would never wear that.
You're right.
Because I know Ed very dearly and personally. I know what he's made of. This is here. This is selfless, donating of his time and his efforts. All the garb that we have and all the uniforms, we honor, we respect it, but it's about our purpose of how we serve. Go ahead, Steve. Tell us
Absolutely.
about development. You're with
New
the
council
state.
development. I mean, with the state, our new councils and our existing councils, our new mantra this year is empowering lives and serving from the heart, which I'm excited about our state deputies' direction with this, is because we're getting back to reminding ourselves that we're here to help. We're not just as knights, but as men of our communities, that we're here to help our communities and lead our communities and lead our families and do good works in the name of Christ and in the name of the Knights of Columbus. And as new council development, I get that opportunity to sit with these gentlemen and teach them and build that foundation. So as we were mentioning earlier, the order's growing older. We do have some older guys that have been around for many years. I wasn't going to mention his name, but he's waving. So, but it's also to bring that new blood in, to bring those new ideas, because the way we did things 10, 15, 20 years ago is different today. And we need younger men to join and work with the older men to make a difference and to build these stronger councils. So we've got a lot of great opportunities that we're looking for. To be a Knight of Columbus, you need to be 18 years old or older. You have to be a Catholic, a practicing Catholic. And then from there, we have some ceremonials we put you through to teach you lessons on charity and fraternity and unity and of course, then patriotism. And then from there, it's rebuilding yourself in your faith, rebuilding yourself in good works, and helping your communities, Coats for Kids that we do, the intellectual disability drives, supporting our clergy, supporting our churches.
Seminarians.
So, doing our seminarians and giving them assistance as they need to go grow and lead us in our faith. So it's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun, because the other part of it is I get to meet a lot of guys that I haven't met before. So you and I met back in June at the Patriotic Exemplification with your team. But I'm getting a chance to travel across the state of Illinois and meet guys that are interested in making a difference in other people's lives and in their communities. And then through that, we're forming new councils to continue to grow the order with it.
And, I can't keep saying this enough, and sometimes I catch a little heck for it. Look, if structured religion isn't your thing, kick the tires. Come on over and see what the Knights of Columbus could do as a group. You don't have to join the parish immediately. Go to a few events. You're welcome. Go to see what's going on. Everything is open right now. You want to see what Knights of Columbus are? Yes, our faith is practicing Catholics. Some people are against that. Some people aren't. But give it a try. Look and see what it has to offer you. If you get beyond all of the structure and all of the, all the guidelines, it's still all the same thing as the fact that we're here to give back as much as we possibly can and give love to one another. That's what it's all
And
about.
it's also part of it. I mean, you hit on a great point. There's so much about being a member of a Knight. It's not just going to church. It's not just passing out Tootsie Rolls. It's not just doing a pancake breakfast or a spaghetti dinner. There are programs where a really big initiative right now is our core program, which is a men's prayer group. It's a men's faith-based, and it's open not just to Knights of Columbus, but members of their parishes to grow closer in their faith and stronger in their faith. But you also have opportunities like Coats for Kids. I'll be honest, if you've never had the opportunity to take a coat and give it to a child who isn't going to have one and most likely is going to be freezing throughout the winter, and put that coat and look at the smile on their face and the joy that they radiate from that, and the joy that their parents radiate from that.
And we're not just giving those to Catholic kids.
No, we're giving
These
it
are
anyway.
given to anybody in need. We work with Pastor Brooks over in the city of Chicago, our council, and he's got a program that teaches the young youth to go out and get jobs. So we get them some, new or slightly used suits.
Absolutely.
So they could dress and get themselves ready to present themselves properly.
Yeah, and in that same way, if anyone remembers the tornadoes through Naperville and Woodridge and everything about 6-7 years ago, it's our state council representatives were on the ground within hours of that, just walking up to someone on the street whose house was ruined and handing them a gift card to get groceries. And the response we got was, "But I'm not Catholic." And it's like, we didn't ask you if you were. We're just here to help out. And it's a great opportunity for our men to and our men are looking for reasons. They don't want to sit behind the television anymore and just watch football or basketball or hang around the house and do nothing. They are looking for reasons to get out and lead their families and lead their communities to a better life. And we're here to provide that and give them that opportunity.
And when you join the Knights, your family joins the Knights.
Absolutely.
Because every program, every event is steered and geared toward family participation. So nobody has to stay home. It's not like, Steve's out of the house again. Come on along. You're more than welcome to come. Any event that I ever went to, my kids are always welcome.
Absolutely.
And that's the way to do it.
Yeah, my council does a chili cook-off every year, and it's one of the things that we tell the families: bring your kids, let your kids be a part of that. It's important for them to see what we're doing.
And then it lets the parish recognize and see, once you have the men, some have men organizations, they call them, and you see the good that the Knights do, that's what you're able to cultivate them into a actual member, actual brother of the Knights of Columbus.
Absolutely on that. So there's one thing, if we can, real quick, before we make a jump, is we were talking about the exemplification of patriotism coming up on October 25th. And every year, what we do at those exemplifications is that we ask, we set a specific organization that we're going to make donations to. And this year, it's Tunnels to Towers. For those that are interested in finding out more about them, it's t2t.org is their website.
Say it one more time.
t2t.org.
The number 2 or T-O?
The number 2.
Okay.
And Tunnels to Towers was developed to honor a fallen firefighter from New York that was part of the September 11th attacks and died. This year, we've raised $3,000 for that. So it's a great organization that ties towards our veteran support They do things in supporting smart homes for veterans and Gold Star families and helping first responder families.
Right.
And not just ones that are currently alive, but ones that have passed on and need assistance. So we are honoring them this year. We raised $3,000 at the last exemplification, at your exemplification. It was a fantastic.
Which was the first one that was open to the public.
So you guys have set the standard
See?
for the other two. So we're looking hopefully to hit a goal of total of $10,000. But what I would ask our listeners to do, if they haven't heard of Tunnels to Towers before, to take that time to go take a look at them and see what they do. One of the things that excites me about them is their smart home program. Is they're building these like mobile home parks with smart homes in it so that homeless veterans can move into them, get the support in the medical and the counseling, and have a shelter that they can live in. So, but again, if our listeners can kick towards TTT a little bit, that would be great. And we would appreciate anything. And of course, to our brother Knights coming up to the 4th degree in October, bring your checkbooks. I'll run around with an envelope at the dinner and ask for some donations from that.
That's great. First responders is real important. Everybody knows WRMN supports America First Responders Fest. Happens to fall on one of the dates, the 20th, but it's a 1 to 6 event. All are welcome, so please do so. You know, we had a great show here today. I hope you agree. Ed Chef started us out, letting us know what's going on in LA in the area, but about the ID drive, telling how it was the exemplification, how important it is to get that. And then we also had Stephen Fitzmaurice represents the state of Knights of Columbus, the whole state, and he's in development for new councils. So anybody interested, you know, reach out, get a website they can call to.
They can go to illinoisknights.org and they can reach out to us through that, and we can get any information you need there. Also through kfc.org, which is the Supreme Council's website, and they can get information from there as well.
That sounds great. Or call right here, WRMN1410.com, and say, hey, I want to know more about the Knights of Columbus. I'm a brother Knight. I'll pass it on. WRMN 1410 with the Knights of
Water, fire,
Columbus.
every second
We'll see you
counts.
next time,
At
folks.
Emergency Construction Group,